Schlachthof-5.
Schlachthof-5. Schlachthof.
Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut is an anti-war novel that follows Billy Pilgrim, a surviving soldier of World War II. Readers follow along with Billy's life and see the effects war had on him. This science fiction novel was published on March 31st, 1969, during the Vietnam War. Although the story is set in World War II, Vonnegut wrote it to show how terrible and pointless war can be. Because Billy Pilgrim can time travel, the story is told out of order, jumping between different times and places. It mainly focuses on his experiences during World War II and how the war impacted his later life in the 50s and 60s. The main characters are Billy Pilgrim and the Trashmadorians, the aliens that abducted Billy. Billy starts off as passive but becomes emotionally detached after adopting the Trashmadorians' belief that everything is predetermined. Unlike Billy, the Trashmadorians don't change and always respond to death with the phrase, "so it goes," reflecting the view that events are inevitable. The major conflict is Billy's trauma from World War II, leaving him emotionally numb and struggling to find meaning in life. It constantly haunts him, preventing him from living an ordinary life. Like many real-life veterans, Billy's trauma never gets resolved and becomes a part of his identity. An important literary technique is symbolism. Princess, a dog borrowed by the Germans, tragically dies after being forced into the battlefield. Her name symbolizes innocence in contrast to violent wars. Birds, constantly flying above while humans suffer from man-made destruction, symbolizes nature's peace.
A major theme that surfaced was escaping reality is easier than facing it, which came to being after Billy's common tendency to escape the current event he faces by time traveling. Even after being reminded of war and death in the slightest, Billy's mind forces him to detach from reality as a coping mechanism from his trauma. The book explores social issues like PTSD, detachment, and loss of identity among soldiers, ultimately contradicting the glamorization of war. The story critiques the belief that men must suppress emotions, addressing both the specific time period and universal truths about trauma. Vonnegut was a firm believer in men's mental health, and he advocated for this cause in this book. The book was banned in New York in 1975, Ohio in 1979, Florida in 1982, and challenged by Republic High School in Missouri in 2011. Censors objected to its, quote, explicit sexual scenes, violence, and obscene language. One of the most well-known cases was Island Tree Union Free School District versus Pico, where the school board removed Slaughterhouse-Five from the library, calling it, quote, anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-Semitic, and just plain filthy. While the book does contain controversial content, it's important to remember that it deals with war, an inherently difficult and disturbing topic. Students should be allowed to read it to better understand the harsh realities of war and learn from the past in hopes of avoiding similar violence in the future. By allowing banned books in our libraries, students are given the opportunity to reflect on past societal mistakes. With that understanding, they are more likely to think critically, show empathy, and make mature, informed decisions that lead to a more responsible future.